Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my friend. Welcome. Pre-market here at SpartanTrading.com. Welcome to those who are joining us on our live YouTube stream. It's Wednesday, FOMC. See what kind of rhetoric they have to say. You know the drill here. Everybody's looking for lots of rate cuts. There's some macro data that's been coming out that kind of garners my attention, right? But we shall talk about that in a sec. Okay, let's take a peek. All right, so you know that I'm hyper focused on the Dallas numbers, right? And obviously the manufacturing was just okay. The services wasn't as bad, right? And European area avoided a recession because you know the drill by definition. 0 is like plus, so it's like okay, has to be 2 in a row, right? So anyways, then we have, obviously, we had the JOLTS, yada, yada, yada. And then we had the Dallas Fed Services, which was bad, but, not as eye-popping. But this revenue index is notable, right? Just, and then overseas, then we had the crude. There was a bigger draw than expected, yada, yada, yada. Industrial production out of Japan is kind of waning. Retail sales waning. Australia inflation rate 4.1, still pretty. I mean, this is what I look at. This is the country I look at. A little bit, yeah, still coming in a little bit. CPI numbers were a little bit, came in a little bit as well. And then you see here in terms of mean CPI, their trim version, right? And then here we go. Look, the problem with China is as follows. Well, there's a lot of problems with China. One of them is Xi. I mean, that's obvious. That's a no-brainer, right? But we basically have to, their problem is systemic unemployment. Jobs. As Trinwell said, jobs. You could say whatever you want to say, but when you have systemic unemployment of probably 30% of up to age 30, it makes it a very complex and complicated situation. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's not as simple as it seems, right? Hold a second, guys. So anyways, yeah, complicated, very complicated. Okay. And then we have Japan, as you can see, right? Data come out, consumer confidence, housing starts, yada, yada, yada. Not a whole lot of love going on right now. Unemployment rate, change rate, 5.8, still pretty high. And then you have the different cantons, provinces, whatever, giving out different CPI numbers, et cetera, et cetera. And then you have inflation rate 2.9 coming in, Harmony, and then ADP for us. And then obviously we have non-farm payroll on Friday. We got more earnings. And then we get the refunding announcement. So very, 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 very interesting times we live in right now. All right. Still got lots of earnings to go, right? Qualcomm, Align. We had MasterCard, we had Boeing, right? And obviously AMD, Microsoft, Alphabet. I mean, in the picking order of stuff, I guess, Microsoft, the better of and then AMD. I'll be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure. Well, we'll see what happens, right? It just was one of those earnings, right? I was hedged, so that was, pretty good. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here where you have beating, like Boston Scientific. We'll see where money flow goes, right? We had some upgrades, guidance raising core, and then EXTO, and then Fortive, they raised their guidance as well. I mean, in its totality, I guess it wasn't. Look, the problem is when you rally as much as this market and individuals and these MAG5, whatever you want to call them, top tier S&P, you better damn well knock it out of the park. Because if you don't, this is what it looks like. And I mean, and you can see in terms of relatively speaking, right, Microsoft is only down a little bit. And to me, that actually, is the one that I feel the most comfortable with right now going forward, I guess. Versus, Google, it's really hard to do a deep dive and see what happens. So we'll see what the verbiage is out of the Fed, yada, 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 slump, Brazil, jobless rate nears high, Italy, and not a lot of happy stuff to talk to you about at this point in time. Don't forget, Chinese New Year's coming up soon. Hong Kong economy grows less than expected, 3.2%. Trump may make North Korea deal and embolden China if he wins election. I can't even. Okay, well, this was ridiculous. I don't know what to tell you, but $56 billion. That's all I have to say. Okay, I know. TikTok, other techs to face lawmakers on child safety. Look, I'm a huge component. I don't like social media for a lot of reasons. And I've postulated this narrative multiple times. Instead of evolving, we are devolving as a world. And a lot of that has to do with the social media crap that goes out in there in terms of, the verbiage, what's said and stuff like that. And as a society, I think we are devolving. But I wouldn't want to be a kid today. That's all I have to say. All right. So when Otis hits 500 billion in market values, it's flagged soaring demand. You know the drill there, right? UPS lays off. Well, nothing there. Fed understands nuanced words on what matter. Yeah, well, okay. Yeah. What can I tell you? Axis of resistance. Boy, did we. Haley taps Wall Street and Main Street to keep anti-Trump bid funded. All right, so what do we got? I love these, Statista, where trusted politics runs low. We're pretty much there. Share of respondents who think that national politicians can be trusted. Brazil is higher than the United States. We're down to 29%, guys. India 24, Germany 24. I mean, seriously, talk about a toilet bowl. Just swirling around. This is, like I say, as a society, we are definitely devolving. Alphabet continues to double-digit earnings trend. Cloud, right? Tourism. I love this stuff. Where corruption is rampant. Most corrupt is South Sudan, and then Syria, Venezuela, and Somalia. It's the world as we see it. Walmart split. Nice. All right, so I hate to be the one, but I am going to be the one. Cycle. This is a timing cycle. January 30th. Okay, so we'll see how it plays out. I mean, it could be consolidative like this, or it could be consolidative like that, or it could be like that. I mean, this goes back, right, in time. This is a 60-day, right, 60, 63-day cycle. So I don't know I'm just saying, I feel like I'm being the one. That's why that's why hedges were made. And I'm happy. I mean, look, I'm not saying that, you know, anyways, whatever. I don't know what to tell you. I do know what to tell you, but I don't know what to tell you. China-Shanghai government signed strategic agreement with Ant Group to cooperate on AI industry ecosystem and blockchain industry innovation platforms. This is coming, I'm telling you. 2024, remember, we have to be aware that BRICS is what's coming. Okay, so as a bearish fresh picket beard. Okay, here we go. Market breadth. Why we see improving breadth in 2024? That is dovish. Interest rates trend. Pent-up demand housing reignites. Pent-up demand CapEx crisis. Investor flows to equities. So boy, Tommy boy. Right? The Delaware decision against Elon Musk is a jaw dropper in our view, and we would expect the board to fight back. Look, I'll be honest with you. I understand, but I've always had issue with some of these individuals who get a lot of money. I understand, but whatever. Google, Microsoft pulling back. We'll see. I'll just pop. I'm not sure why, but anyways. Yeah. He was complaining about pay. Now he won't even. Yeah, well, I'm complaining some more. Anyways. All eyes on FOMC. We know this is actually kind of liquidity-driven bull market since 2008. Bank reserves. You got to keep an eye on this stuff. Discretionary stocks versus consumer staples. It's not always a good look when your consumer staples XLP is up, right? It's having a good day, right? So I don't know what to tell you. See what else they have to say. Crypto asset flows. This is all you need to know. Isn't that crazy? The Nifty 50 are over. This is the chart emphasis just how the weight of the largest 10 stocks in the S&P is now 87th percentile. This, I don't like this. And that this has been the game. And this has been the game for a while, but it really became the game, in 2020 and then in 2023, right? To me, I just want to see a rebalance. Can anyone say amen to that? I mean, and then let's just see where everything is, and you know what I mean? I don't know. That's what I'd really like to see, but am I going to get it? Probably not. They should be the healthiest thing for this market. Hi, Heinrich, what are you talking about? This is gold, Bitcoin to gold ratio. So they're basically saying Bitcoin's going to outperform gold. That's the Reader's Digest version. Alphabet, saying, well, it's not so bad. Stocks, bonds, unemployment. Yeah, well, I don't know. Corporate client-led inflows and institutional clients-led outflows. I don't know. Corporate, institutional. Interesting. So like I say, maybe these institutions aren't as long as we think they are. Just saying. I'm just saying. Millionaires, whatever. Gold. Banks increased their borrowing to 959 billion January, most since 2011. What do we got? MasterCard. Well, it's earnings, right? SoFi was downgraded. Right? I mean, lots of that going on, right? So we shall see. You know, a rupture between China could cause, I know, I mean, fear-mongering. And 5-year lows rescue bets fade amid macro concerns. Paramount Global, I mean, okay. I don't know. Lots of things I don't know. Ouch. XLK. I mean, we saw, this was at the end of the day, a lot of stuff came in. IWM, you know, is green, right? NVIDIA, Qs, Microsoft, Soxel, AMD. Wow. 150. No. All I know is that there ain't a hell of a lot of hedging going on. That's all I know. It looks like. Now, we'll see how that changes, but at least from an options point of view, there isn't a lot. And then we had some insider stuff going on here buying, but February to January, okay, that's reported, but okay, that's like a whole year. Colb, COLB, Intel, October to January reported. Once again, insider sales, everything, NTRA, grants, AMP, grants, consents, VKTX, optional, and then OSIS and T-Mobile. All right, upgrades, what do we got? Checkpoint, TTGT, CVLT, SM Energy, TSVT. Let's take a look at downgrades. Thank you, Roger, as always. He posts the changes in terms of, this is only upgrades, downgrades, initiations, and then reiterations and stuff like that. Maintains. Roger posts for us what he sees. Downgrades, JCI, CF, Southwestern Energy, right? A lot of these on valuation. Okay, SoFi is a sell, equal weight to underweight. Well, you can see the pricing change. 651%, 50-50 for Morgan Stanley. Initiations. NWN, Northwest Natural, 74%, 3.4% neutral. Really hard to think. SLN, Silence Therapeutics, 256%. Costas from BMO, okay, 49%, 50-50. See how that plays out. I'm just being honest with you. Okay. It's going to be an interesting day. All right, FOMC, nothing really moving right now. I mean, you know, I've had issue with this, and I know I'm a broken record, but I still have issue with this because the reality is, if these cuts come to fruition, I got news for you. Well, okay, so there's two trains of thoughts here. Okay, that one train of thought is that the Fed's over tightened, ergo, if you look in terms of where we are in terms of inflation versus where we are on the Fed fund side, that the Fed basically has over tightened. And then the other side to that coin is, well, you've got this monster balance sheet that you still have to unwind if you're going to unwind it. So double tightening, right? Okay, so one narrative could be that they do cut, you know, interest rates and the Fed funds. And then on the back end, they continue to unwind the balance sheet, which is a net neutral type of thing. Okay. If they cut, that would, to me, that would be fear. Okay, that would mean they see something that the economy is not as strong as we think it is. And that would make me really, really be concerned, because if the economy and the macro setup is as strong as I think it is and as stable as I think it is, they start to actually cut. Now, don't forget, with the voting board, okay, this year is hawkish. Okay, so I mean, we have to work our way through this. Okay, so Goldsby was a voter, Cook was a voter. Okay, Goldsby's not voting, Cook is still voting. But if you look over here, okay, in terms of, Daly, Boken, Mester, these are more hawkish leaning. Okay, if these people get on board, okay, with rate cuts, okay, in terms of a balance, all right, I'm telling you right now, that would really scare the bejeebies out of me. So it's almost like something like that would make me really, really worry about the market. Okay. And because, earnings, right? Strength, economy, growth, right? I know. Pickleball? Seriously? You're talking about pickleball then? Okay. Okay. So anyways, you see what I'm getting at, right? It's counterintuitive. We don't want to see these cuts. If we see these cuts, then the economy's not as strong. Those Dallas numbers really didn't make me warm and fuzzy, but that's the story, Morning Glory. This is why I go through this stuff with you, is because you really don't get, obviously there's a day trading room, right? And this is the opportunity to get the breadth of what Twins and myself, someone who is macro, longer term investors, as Twins obviously is an asset allocator manager, right? But this is what we think of, right? This is where we say, okay, well, where's the money going to go? How's it going to look? So, I mean, like following, that little, whack-a-mole, where's it gonna pop up? Okay. Is it gonna pop up like Insignia, Humana, UNH sort of stuff that were taken down where they get bought up? Consumer staples. I mean, med tech. Going from, Peter to Paul. Okay. Is it gonna go to, something like the SMCI, things like that? Where's the money going to flow? Right, coming out of the FANG, and where's it going to go? Right, and I think that Twins has been very articulate, and I agree with him. Look, for me, if you look at the pecking order, Netflix, Microsoft, and I think SMCI, and I think he's right about that. I mean, in terms of potential, with the SMCI data that came out, no question about it. Okay, I have money to spend, and we'll see where I'm going to put it. I don't know. Here's feeling good. Okay, November to January trifecta. This is what it looks like after November, December. 12 months after. It's bullish. I mean, what am I going to tell you, except for 2018? Now, don't forget 2018. Remember 2018? It was an earnings downgrade, right? That's why 2018 was really hard. Remember, at the end of the year, December, the last day of the trading year, you had trillions coming into the market. Analysts had downgraded all of the different, on the earnings side, on the corporate side. And in 2018, the decline was a function of earnings downgrades, analysts, everything like that. Remember? Well, I don't know if you remember, but anyways. So in theory, 12 months after November, December trifecta, statistically, it's 11 out of 12. Statistically, it's the market, right? I mean, it's really hard either ways. Okay. I don't know. But there's a lot of moving parts here. But when it's all said and done, it's still it's the economy stupid. It's still about earnings, right? Those who do well will be rewarded. Those who don't, you know the drill. And even that, a lot of these are priced to perfection, and you really have to have a wow factor. If you're priced to perfection, you have to have a wow factor. Okay. China internet, well, that's no surprise. Financials, utilities, technology, but you can see here energy, oil, and gas, yesterday's consumer staples, right? And then you have here oversold utilities, financials, overbought, 10-year, you can see here. You know, I don't actually think there's going to be really anything out of the Fed that's going to, you know, well, we'll see. But I think it almost is a non-event. And I think tomorrow's going to be important, but it's still next week's, it's going to be earnings, right? It's going to be Apple, Amazon, stuff like that, right? So I'm just saying. Cool. Well, anyways. All right, so we got the rosiness, gonna get a reset, right? 10, 50, 200, call an oscillator. Overseas, you can see we've already seen that happening. Shanghai, mired in muck, right? Bonds popping to 20, bond optex, bond risk, high yield coming down a little bit. Look, you know, if you ask me, what have I done the last couple days? Okay, I've pretty much been doing, you know, these, and we went over it when I was on the mic at you know, at lunchtime. Okay, a lot of these, you know, closed-end funds, stuff with high divvies, you know, bank stuff, financial stuff. I mean, tankers, you know, stuff like that, you know, and yeah, you know, that's, you know, I know it's not sexy, but if you're looking for, you know, stability and a double-digit return, why not? I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Sentiment, frothiness a little bit. Right, but look at where, I mean, you know, XOP, right? Egypt still. Lithium, 10-year, 2-year. I mean, it's really hard. And the thing is, the consolidation right now, okay, we never really got extended in terms of momentum. We're consolidating within a range, right? That doesn't mean we're going to break down in that range. All that means we were at the upper end of the range. We're coming back inside that range, okay? You have to be incredibly, incredibly patient right now, right? Because it basically, until the bottom end of the range breaks, we're still range bound, right? I'm just being realistic with you. In theory, today is a bullish day, except for the S&P, right? Except for the Dow. Oh, these are February, sorry. Let's get back to January. Green, 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 and green. End of the month, right? Then you get ESOPs, you got stuff coming in and out. I mean, it's nice to look at, but the reality is we open up here and, you know, you got the, you know, home builders are down, right? You've got all kinds of stuff going on right now. I don't know what to tell you. Just don't know what to tell you. And I still maintain it's great to look at these PE multiples, okay? It's really great to look at historically. But you cannot, with all sincerity, tell me that the makeup, the construct, okay, of this market is anywhere near what it was in 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, okay, 2000. Okay, this is the problem, the evolution of what's going on right now. You just can't. It just, and it really is amazing to see, right? That this is how people are thinking, that we can, there's no apples to apples here. There just isn't, right? I mean, that's all I have to say, is there's just no apples to apples here. Canada rates are up, overseas Germany, France down, UK up, Spain, Italy down, Japan, Australia up. Let's take a look at the yield curve, as we like to do. Okay. Right? 30-year. You can see here the 10-year, right? A little bit of steepening going on. Okay, and a little bit of inversion going. My problem is, and this is the problem I have. Okay. My problem is as follows. Okay. Everyone is piled up into the front end here for safety. I'm just trying to be honest with you. I know. I'm keeping it real right now. There's the Fed funds. Let's take a look at the effective Fed funds, right? This is no question about it. It is high, effectively, no question. I mean, we know this, right? This is not, rocket science here, right? I mean, and we know that, let's take a look at our recessionary probability. Let's see if it's updated at all. This is the problem, is it hasn't been updating lately, okay? And we know that here we are, this isn't updated. This is the problem, is it's not updating, and I'd love to see one of these models update. Let's see. This one is. Well, this is better. But, it's pretty hard, when you've got GDP, we'll see. I don't know. It's all about productivity for me. Consolidation. Okay. This is the front end, 10-2, right? Flag out or break down. It's just, this is what's so fascinating about it. We've been used to these monster moves, right? And now we're kind of consolidating in, 0.1%, which is like, oh my God, right? On the 210. Is the 2.5, same thing, right? I think we break one way or the other. We're going to find out pretty damn fast, right? I don't know. We'll see. And I hate to say this, okay, but I'm going to say it. I did buy some ZROZ. See if it works. IWM, we'll see. What Robert is saying is true, okay? That basically we would see money rotating out of large cap, right? Going into mid cap, small cap. I don't know. It's way too early to talk about that, as far as I'm concerned. His German rates got rebuffed, range bound, 10-year. Well, this is the China, right? And here's the Chinese yuan. Really not much going on here. Crypto. So let's see what happens here. Money rotation. So what are we looking for? We're looking at gold, right? To see if that starts to move, right? Things like that. Because this is an interesting day that we have to be honest and talk about. We do tend to get notable and in meaningful moves, right? On an FOMC day, if it's meaningful FOMC, I don't think this is, but we'll see. All right, gold's up, silver's up, platinum plating down, crude is down, natural gas is up, aluminum, heating oil, copper. So last FOMC, I don't know if you guys remember, it was a sea of red on the commodity side, deflationary type stuff, right? Sea of red. Okay. Just letting you know, that's what it looks like. DBC metals looking to bounce there. Natty gas, we haven't reclaimed. I still got this. Look, even for someone like myself, okay, who does this a lot, there ain't no way I'm getting in front of this freight train, okay, until I get confirmation. I'm just saying. USO UNG, really interesting. Here's crude, right? And then I want to bring up XLE USO, because this is important, okay? I think we're going to get a bounce here, right? This double bottom, let's see, we start to reclaim. So what does that mean? That would mean a divergence happening between the physical and the refiners. And the refiners, don't forget, if the market's actually getting the yips, okay, don't forget in 2022, the refiners had a really great year. I don't know, okay? I'm just, being honest and real and throwing it out there to everybody, right? I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, and it's okay not to know, because a lot of things have to play out here. A lot of big things, okay? This is why Twins said he trimmed, raised cash, right? I'm hedged, I raised cash, and I have, and I have my hedges. Okay, this is not the market you want to be aggressive in right now. Gold, still consolidative. I'm waiting patiently. It's still an inside candle from last month, right? So we'll see how that GLD, GDX, we'll see how that plays out. Okay, here we go. Dow, small caps. You know the drill here. No good comes from this, right? This one, tech and S&P is down. You got the VIX is down. DAX is flat. CAC on overseas. Markets are fine, except obviously China. India is just kind of ripping again, right? I love that. I don't know. Money rotation, don't know. But one of my 2024 themes has been, right, that I see money going overseas. Okay, and I'm not saying you go in India. I mean, I'm sorry, not into China, but there's a lot of other opportunities. I like Mexico, I like Brazil, I like India stores. If I got some DAX on, stuff like that. I don't know. Okay, where the money flows are going to be. I mean, what's wrong with this, right? Now, the drill here, no goods from when the DAX is leading, right? FTSE's mired in muck because it's got so much commodities in it. Fez breaking out. See if that happens, right? Small caps, double top. Let's see if that breaks out. So obviously the EFAs look better. Here's the Ibovespa. Double bottom here, double top here. We'll see. I have a little bit of a hedge on that because I have a lot of stuff in Brazil. Japan, looking good, feeling good. Nothing wrong with this. Chart, right? K-Web. There you go. I'm actually surprised it hasn't taken out, but someone's accumulating this stuff. And Roger posted it. Someone's accumulating BABA. Someone's accumulating FXI. JD? Socks. His Meta. We got to look at FANG, right? It's time. We got to look at FANG. Okay. It's still holding the breakout from last month's high, right? All-time high, right? So basically 89.72, right? For me is important. Now, on a measured move for any of you who are paying attention, this box is equal to this box. And that's exactly where we got rebuffed. And it's also the top end of the Bollinger. But look at that range. like I say, okay, we've got a monster candle for the month. See what happens, right? So here's Meta. I mean, 389 coming back down, right? This is the weekly. Let's take a look at the monthly to get the reality here, okay? This is how extended it's been, all right? So here we have this, right? Right? Then we have this. Double top, right? Previous all-time highs, okay? And that comes in, right, at 384.33. We're still above it. So I know, but from a technical point of view, technically, no damage has been done yet. His Meta XLC. Meta's obviously top dog, right? Amazon Meta. Amazon continues to weaken against Meta. I don't know if that's going to continue, though. We're going to have to keep an eye on Amazon, see if this holds. Because if it does, that means Amazon can outperform Meta, right? So, just talking out loud, okay? Just talking out loud. Apple Meta, right? So, Reader's Digest version, Meta's been the leader of the gang, right? In this regard. Google Meta, well, it's going lower, right? So, next leg down is basically right here. So for me right now, I have my Google hedge on. It's in the penalty box for me right now. Right? And that should make sense to everybody that would be in the penalty box. We'll see. Meta Netflix. Okay, so as you can see here, Meta and Netflix have been really strong together. And I do like, and if you put a gun to my head, I agree with twins. I mean, there's certain stocks that to me, you know, and he was mentioning this before. Okay, the next, what's that wow factor like, you know, can go up, outperform, right? Like NVIDIA for 2023. So what is it for 2024? Okay, and he's kind of postulating SMCI, Netflix, names like that potentially. I don't think we know yet, but I think we're going to find out pretty damn soon, okay, whether it's going to be like an SMCI that's going to continue again to outperform, right? You know, I mean, and we had a lot of these cloud-based names. I don't know. It'll be interesting. The security names, right? The cyber names. But there will be names for us. Meta against XRT, obviously. Right? Meta Snap. Meta Spot. Meta Twitter. Meta XLC. We did that already. Okay, Meta XLK. Let's take a look at the XLK right now. Because I think this is also important, right? To take a look at this one. Where is it? There we go. Okay. All right. So basically, here we are. It did get into an extension on the Fed 1.5%. Okay. The reality is, and this is what happens when you have these extensions. I mean, the support it's not close by. Okay. And everybody thinks that the sky is falling, and you know the drill on that, right? Okay, but the reality still is, okay, and this doesn't make me warm and fuzzy, but there we go, right there. Okay. All right, and we are opening below this. This is the pivot right here. So we still have it's still fine. It's just the pullback within a bull market. And these can be absolutely unnerving, right? And I'm not going to be the one to say, yeah, we have a season. Yeah, we have a timing cycle. Yes. Okay. We do. Okay. Yes, we have earnings. Yes, we have all these macro stuff. Yes, but the reality still is from a technical, if you look at it from a monthly, weekly perspective, right? Right. We're okay still. And I'm going to defer that to Spartan, but don't forget, I look at weekly, monthly charts. And you know that the 10 EMA is my bellwether, right? And that's just my gold standard, right? And as you can see here, when you basically have this much extension, I mean, it can still. Sorry about that. So you can see here, not for the faint of heart, right? So here's Google XLC, and you can see here, basically it's at the mid of the XLC communication. So we know it's obviously been meta, right? Right? So, I mean, we'll see how these things play out. I mean, it's really hard for me to get really, how should I say? Concerned, I guess is the way to put it. There's a lot of stuff going on that does concern me, but nothing has technically happened that made me say, oh my God, the sky is falling. Right? XLC, this is problematic, right? It's basically at the 78.6% fit. Right? So that is a little bit problematic. Right? I mean, I have to be real with you. Let's take a look at XLY. Right? Consumer discretionary. Right, let's clear this out. Let's look at this fib right here. So some of these things, as you can see, and you can see right here, right, at the 61.8%. And this is reflective of a broken market in the sense that you've got 83% of the move happening amongst 5 to 10 names. And this is why it looks this way. I mean, that's the problem we have. And until that changes, right, that's the problem we have. And you know me, I love breath, and it's been very frustrating for me, right? So don't forget, if you look at the SPYG, right? Growth value, this is all you need to know. Look at this. When the IWM growth value.
Alrighty, Beth, ready to pop on here. Sorry, guys, I was just resetting my internet. That took me
Okie dokie.
a little bit longer.
Good, you're good to go?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I just had to get it back up. Okay, guys, one sec. I'm just gonna pop the screen share up. We'll get good. Alrighty. So, if you guys are new to chat, ever done so, make sure to click on that Discord link that's emailed to you. You're gonna pop in chat and look something a little bit like this. First area to go to when you guys do come in, click on that disclaimer section, give that a read, as well as go to the new to chat information section, scroll to the very, very top. Top of the section, a link to the disclaimer as well as this bolded risk reward section. Super important to understand both in regards to risk reward, guys. Most important ratio in trading, so definitely worth checking out there in that regard. Continue to scroll down. You're going to see the summary of how this chat works, breaks all the channels working left-hand side, so you can probably navigate the chat through the day. Important so you know where to be looking. Continue to scroll down. We have the summary of how this chat works, breaks down all the channels work, so you can properly navigate the chat throughout the day. Below that, how to read alerts on the opposite acting side, so you can basically, understand what we're saying on both sides. Pretty straightforward there. Options rules that we use every single day on the opposite ideas section. Take a look at that. SPX rules right below there. Continue to scroll down. We have the how to pick ideas from an options or equity perspective, breaking down how to pick ideas. Overlaying on criteria on top of them, so you're left with only things that do make sense for you and your account. And then lastly, high conviction small account trades posted in that area when they do make sense. let's take a look at what we got going on today. A couple different things. Now, these are all going to be earnings plays, guys, but besides Tesla. Again, I'll get the news there after. Just my internet was down the whole time, so I just got it backed up. So I'll just try to quickly rip through these charts, and then obviously when we come back on, or when I come back on after South Beach, we'll go through it all properly there. But rest assured, I'll do the charts, screenshot them all, etc. While he's on. So, anyways, Tesla, Microsoft, AMD, Google, SSYK, PAL, and obviously, Tesla's just gapping down with the market there. Microsoft, AMD, Google, all gapping down on earnings. SSYK up on earnings, and POWL, same thing. Let's take a look at these names from a technical standpoint intraday. First two we're going to be looking at today, guys, going to be that Tesla and that Microsoft. So let's have a look. Okay, so first two, like I said, Tesla and Microsoft. That's, like I said, a little bit of a gap down there. Let's take a look at where we got room. So pivot to the downside today, 186.28 levels unable to hold. We're gonna have room for continuation into the 179.93 to 174.92, able to hold 179. Or sorry, 190, 195, 94. Could be leading bullish neutral, actually looking for a hold of this pivot for a push back to the upside today. So we'll see what happens there. Let's take a look at Microsoft. Slight gap down, not by much, but a little bit down. I'm actually pretty impressed with how well this held up. Had a really nice run up in earnings. Earnings were, not bad, but typically you'll see it give back more. It was truly going to be bearish. So I'm actually going to be leaning on the bullish side of the Microsoft today. I think it's doing a really good job holding up. Pivot's going to be the 406.87. That level is able to hold. You got room towards 409.26, 412.87, unable to hold 403.34 to the 440 on the downside. Going to be leaning on the bullish neutral side today. Bullish neutral only if that pivot can hold up. So we'll see what happens there. I think it's done a really good job so far. Let's take a look at the next two. Shut these, move to the next. Okay, next two guys, we got AMD, Google. So AMD gapping down. And all right, so AMD guys pivot to the downside today, 161.73 levels unable to hold, 154.79, 150.56, able to hold 168.02 to 174.58. You're leaning bearish, you're looking for a little bit of a grind lower here. It should sell off a little bit more, and then we can see what's what after that. Google. Let's take a look at this. Google 144, 16 guys pivot to the downside today, unable to hold 142.22 to 140.76, able to hold 145.64. And then above that level, we have room back into the 148.15. Going to be leaning on the bearish neutral side there on Google, guys, looking for continuation lower if that pivot point's unable to hold. That's AMD, that is Google. All right, let's take a look at SSYK and then Powell. Up there on earnings. Yeah. So pivot to the upside today, guys. Gonna be 334.57 level holds, 339.83 to the 342.90. Unable to hold. We look for a pullback on SSYK to 330.75, 326.69 or 59. Sorry, on the downside. Leaning bullish. We're looking for a continuation push higher. That's SSYK. Let's take a look at Google. Sorry, not Google. Let's take a look at Powell. Let's look gap up on earnings. So pivot to the upside today, 97.73 level holds 99.89. This to that 103.90, unable to hold 93.23 to 90.21 downside, leaning bullish. We're looking for a continuation push higher today if the pivot point is able to hold. So that is SYK, that is Powell. So I'm going to do the spine thing on my own, guys, and I'll post them in the pre-market section. Then we'll do a quick little recap before the open. Sell pitch will pop on. And who sell pitch if you're ready, it's all yours for now, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
Okay, hey guys. All right, let's see what we got. All right, we got ticks off, but let's see the technicals first, of course. And they look great. Okay, are they overbought? Well, my oscillator is at 0. I think it was at 0. Yes, it's at 0. So, you know, it could go either direction in a pretty substantial way, and it wouldn't necessarily have an overbought or oversold reading. So that's where we stand. Qs are the same chart as the S&Ps. So as you know, these are market cap weighted. I got some guy cleaning my windows outside. It's a little annoying. Anyway, they're market cap weighting. So you have these bigger stocks a little soft this morning. And so, you know, that's taken a toll on a lot of stocks, but I mean, on the averages, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the predominance of stocks are going to go south. We'll see how that works out. But you know how the market cap weighting goes. So, you know, that's the story. Okay. So the Qs and the SPYs are good. We'll see after today how it looks, but for now it's fine. Let's look at the Russell, which has been a little better lately. But still, you know, if you look at a weekly chart, there's been really no movement since October of 2020. I mean, this thing has been like dead in the water. So really all the money is made in the market, and these all-time highs and all this bullshit you're hearing is a handful of names. Okay. And if you're not in those names, you're sucking wind. That's reality. Transport's another laggard, like the Russell. This too has had, you know, if you look at a weekly chart, this thing's been dead in the water for a really long time. So all the money's made in a few stocks. That's really it. That's all. That's the reality of everything. And the chart on the Russell and the transports are pretty neutral at this point, I would say. Okay, so that's the technicals. Let's look at where bonds are, and we have the Fed meeting today. So let's see where things are setting up for that. And we have lower rates starting in the morning. Okay, we have the 10-year at 4.01. Okay, so a big change from the last time the Fed had a meeting, right? And it's gone from 5% to 4%, more or less. It stopped at 380 on the way, but 4% is the level, and the 210 spread is 28. The 2 years down to 429. It had topped out at around 5.5. So big changes there. And we'll see what he has to say. Okay. Your guess is probably as good as mine. London rates are down a little lower across the board, around 0.03 across the board. Let's see how their inversion is. I haven't looked at that in a while. 43, so a lot more than ours. Germany rates are lower as well, about the same amount. 2.23 is their 10-year, and that's the bond market. So walk away from the bond market, yields are a little lower. That's the bottom line this morning. Okay. Let's look at commodities. We have oil down a little bit, kind of in the middle of its trading range for the last, I don't know, good amount of time, right? Month, two, something like that. This natural gas, 213, what a joke. So winter's going to pass because this thing, I guess we're having a warm winter. I don't know, but you're not making money being long gas, that's for sure. Gold is ticking up a little bit, and these agricultural commodities continue to stay pretty quiet. Currency-wise, been very little movement in currencies as of late. Okay, they're kind of at levels that until something changes, that seems as though they're going to stay there. Dollars down against North America, but only a tinch, and against the yen, and flat against China, and the euro and the pound are pretty flat as well. So currencies also quiet. We have crypto down 1.8% on Bitcoin, about the same, 2.5% on Ethereum, and Solana is down 6%. And let's look at the foreign markets. They were pretty flat the last time I checked. So the FTSE is flat, the DAX is flat, the CAC is flat. The Nikkei is up 0.6. China, again, in the shithouse, down 2%. And Hong Kong is down 1.5%. Taiwan's down 0.8. Okay, so there's your backdrop. So banks and Fed, we have a Fed meeting today. We will hear an announcement at 2. Q&A is probably, 2:30. And we'll see what the man has to say. So when I look at a day like today, I see 2 trading days. There's one in the morning that I like to be kind of flattish by no later than 12. And then you have the Fed meeting. Generally, guys, the Fed meeting, when they announce it, the market takes a direction. It's usually the wrong direction, and then it flip-flops. So wait for the linear move. It usually has legs. And what I tried to do is not trade for the first 10 minutes or so and try to get a feel for what's going on. I would think the linear move would take place more or less at the Q&A as opposed to on the announcement. Okay, that announcement is usually a little vague, and we'll see what he has to say afterwards. In the last bunch of meetings, there has been linear moves. So I'm going to sit and wait for it. And the biggest mistake you can do is try to trade right out of the gate, because they will chop your face off. Okay, and keep in mind, the first move is usually the wrong move. And the second caveat is whatever way the market goes on the move with the Fed, it usually changes direction the next day. Okay, are these, in stone? No, I'm just commenting on doing this for, 4 decades and telling you that's the way it usually transpires. Okay, there's no rules in this game, as you know. Anything is subject to change. So that's banks and Fed. Okay, you got China and Russia. We'll discuss in a minute. Crypto, you already saw down a bit this morning. Mr. Market yesterday. So we had the after the close market, and we had the normal day market. So During the day, we had what, S&Ps were down a little bit, 12. NASDAQ was down 167, transports 150, and the Dow was up. Okay, so on the long side, big oil and gas had a nice day. Banks had a good day, and so did insurance. On the sell side, you had the high beta names, semis, FANG, high PE tech. And guess what? China, for a change, is on the sell side. Okay, so that was yesterday. Then you had all those earnings after the close. We'll discuss those in a minute. And here we are down 30 S&P points or whatever it is. Okay. So the quiet period for the Fed ends today at 2 o'clock when Powell takes the Fed talks, and then Powell speaks at 2:30, and we'll see what's what. Okay. 1 second. Weekly mortgage demand is down as buyers struggle to find affordable homes. They're saying that the affordability index on homes is one of the lowest ever, if not the lowest. And that's why you have that Senator Warren chirping away that they should lower rates. And this might end up lowering rates prior to what they want to, but we'll see. I mean, I just don't know. And it's an election year, so that may have some effect. I don't know how it's going to play out. We'll know more after he speaks. All right. Everything else is conjecture. So there's no point doing that. So they had earnings by these big three stocks, right? We had Microsoft, Google, and who was else was it? AMD. And they just, a lot of positivity was embedded in, of course, in the numbers. And the earnings weren't bad, but the stocks have had a fantastic run. So profit take, sell the news kind of thing is the way I looked at it. Google wasn't so terrific. Microsoft was fine. AMD slightly soft, but nothing terrible. Basically, I think it was more these stocks have had a fantastic run, and people are, they didn't knock the cover off the ball, so people are just, paring back. I think that's how I look at it anyway. Let's see. Then you have House Republicans vote to advance an impeachment against the Department of Homeland Security Secretary. I'm not quite sure what that's all about, but whatever. I mean, they're blaming him for the border. I don't know enough to comment, to be honest. It's not my wheelhouse. House Speaker Johnson says an immigration deal is DOA. The Democrats are desperately trying to resurrect a bipartisan immigration deal, okay, border control deal, because they know come the election, and Trump is trying to make sure it doesn't happen. This is going to be a very contentious point when they run for election. Okay, Biden's history on that border is, I don't know. Listen, I have no problem with either candidate, but the border control is a freaking joke. All right, and he's responsible. That's what I think. You don't have to agree, but it's got to get fixed. Okay, so that border thing is going to be a big election issue, and it doesn't look like anything's going to happen prior to that. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, a U.S. destroyer intercepted some Houthi missiles, last night, and Houthis are going to continue targeting U.S. and U.K. ships in the Red Sea. Biden says he's decided how to respond to 3 U.S. Army deaths on Sunday, and these guys continue to threaten us, and we're sitting here with our hands on our hips, and I don't really get that, but we shall see what we shall see. Okay, FBI Director Wray said Chinese are preparing to wreak havoc on U.S. infrastructure through taking hold of our computers and stuff like that. And in addition, China stocks stumbled to a 5-year low after weak manufacturing data. So these guys are telling the Taiwanese that the road to prosperity is to join China, right? Meanwhile, Hong Kong stocks are down God knows what since they took over. Chinese stocks have lost what, $3 trillion since Xi's been in charge. Place is a joke. Okay, their economy is a joke. Their real estate sector is a joke. Their technology is a joke. All right, and anybody who sides with these guys, who wants to get into the Chinese fold, good luck. All right, that's how I see it. Israel, Hamas, really no change there. Russia, Ukraine, no real change there. UPS joins the list of companies cutting jobs. They're going to announce they're going to cut 12,000 jobs. That'll save them $1 billion a year. And all these jobs are adding up. So a lot of talented people are going to be out of work, and that's a little sad. Media entrepreneur made a bid. What's this guy's name? Byron. I think I remember him on like some show as a game show host, Byron Allen. 14.3 billion offer for Paramount. Okay, so I think that works to so he's giving Sherry Redstone a bigger premium because she's got votes, super votes. So she's getting 28, and they say the regular guys are getting 21 and change. And the stock is telling me that this ain't gonna happen. Otherwise, the stock would be trading probably $3 higher at least. So, that's what the stock is telling me. It could end up being wrong, but I wouldn't play it. That's just me. All right. Hollywood studios are in a quest to make some money. They're thinking of putting some of their movies back into the movie theater for longer because the streaming is just not working out the way they hoped. ADP employment report came in 107,000 versus expectations 145. Citadel's Griffin, he donated $500 million to Harvard in the recent past, and he's not going to donate anymore. He says elite schools are producing whining snowflakes. Okay. Then you have Elon Musk and his pay package, $56 billion. A judge ruled against the package. Okay, so last week he was chirping that he wants 25% voting. My guess is he was trying to get in front of this judge, to get him to sway this decision on the 56 billion more in his favor. But I don't know how he's going to handle this or what's going to happen. But Elon Musk is Tesla. It's really kind of weird because he took no salary and he got options. As a holder of a stock, if the CEO got paid based on performance of the stock, I would be happier than if he got paid based on some arbitrary number that the board of directors decided to give the guy. But 56 billion is a lot of bread, but he is Tesla, so you can make the argument either way. And they're saying that they may have found Amelia Earhart's plane. So that's kind of interesting. See what that's all about. Then we had a bunch of earnings. Let's see where that stands. Okay. Oh, the numbskull from Boeing's on TV. He should be shit canned, this asshole. Anyway, Starbucks was good. Boeing was good. POWL, Manhattan Industries, Ashland, Stryker, EQR, Galaxo, Boston Scientific, SWKS, PSX, Chubb, and Chubb is selling some kind of business that they have. ADP was good, SLGM. Then you had Walmart, 3-for-1 split. So that stock's up on that. You have the Paramount, which we just discussed with that Byron Allen bit. Plug just got a push from Roth. That's not Hyman Roth. That's Roth, a brokerage firm that I don't know shit about. Their target is 9. I don't think they know shit, but whatever. Barron's is pushing Walmart and Dollar General this morning. Slob, after it got smoked yesterday, they're reaffirming guidance. I know why Slob got killed yesterday. If anybody knows, enlighten me, but I couldn't find anything. And Navi to outsource student loan servicing. So that's up on that. A bunch more names on the negative side of earnings. We have this HES, HESM, I guess that's midstream or something. MA, which is MasterCard, down a little bit. Now it just went up. Microsoft, we know. Google, we know. AMD, we know. Teradyne, New York Community Bank, no surprise there. Mondelez was soft. It may pull this group down. So keep an eye on that. That's one thing I'll be focusing on this morning is this consumer non-durable group. I mean, Mondelez is a pretty good company, and better run than most of these names. So I want to see how they act. So I will definitely be watching those. Avnet was soft. LII, New York Community Bank, we said. EXTR, Rockwell, MOD. I'm trying to find names. NVS was down a little bit. I think that's more profit taking. TMO, Teva. Anything else? Roper. Those are the names. Vertex was downgraded to a sell at Baird. AMSC is doing a shelf offering. Tesla, we know. IMCR upsized their cancer thing. And these short guys from the Big Short, some of the names they're involved in: Tesla on the short side, and Upstart and UPS. We'll see how the market holds on these big tech names. That'll rule the roost. 2 trading days today, one pre-Fed, one after. Treat them separately, and you should be fine. Okay, that's it for me. Passing it to Spartan, and let's have a good day, guys.
Alrighty, guys. So let's take a look at what we got going on today. A couple different things. If you guys are new to chat and never done so, make sure to click on that Discord link that's emailed to you. You're gonna pop into chat. It's gonna look something a little bit like this. First area to go to when you guys do come in. Click on that disclaimer section, give it a read, as well as go to the new to chat information section. Scroll to the very, very top. Top of that section, you got a link to the disclaimer as well as this bolded risk reward section. Super important to understand both. In regards to risk reward, guys, most important ratio in trading, so definitely worth checking out there in that regard. Continue to scroll down. We have the summary of how this chat works, breaks down the channels work on the left-hand side, so you can probably navigate the chat throughout the day. Important to you in order to be looking. Continue to scroll down. We have the how to read alerts on the opposite and equity side, breaking down how to read alerts on both sides. Pretty straightforward in that regard. Below that, options rules that we use every single day on the options ideas section. SPX rules right below that as well. Continue to scroll down. We have any with a small account. Less than 10K breaking down. If you do have a smaller account, less than 10K, here's some rules, information, discipline. You can put in place, you can better manage your account. How to pick ideas from an options director perspective. Then lastly, high conviction small account trades posted in that area when they do make sense. So let's take a look what we got going on today, guys. Couple different things. Pre-market tickers on watch. Basically, I'll just whatchamacallit? I'll just earnings plays, but everything's posted. You can pause it, you can read it, guys. You're on the YouTube stream. There you go. There you go. So a couple things that we're looking at today, guys. Tesla, Microsoft, AMD, Google, SYK, and then Powell. So Tesla gapping down to the market, Microsoft, AMD, and Google gapping down on earnings. SYK gapping up on earnings, and POWL gapping up on earnings. Let's take a look at these names from a technical standpoint intraday. So first ones that we're looking at today is going to be that Tesla and that Microsoft. Let's have a look. All right, so Tesla, guys, pivot to the upside today. 186.28 levels able to hold. They got rid towards 191.76. That level breaks 195.94, unable to hold. Look for a pullback towards 179.93 to 174.92 on the downside. Going to be leaning on the bullish neutral side there today, looking for a hold of the pivot and a push higher. Let's take a look at Microsoft here. Microsoft 408.87 level holds 409.26, 412.87, unable to hold 403.34 to 440 on the downside, giving leaning bullish neutral there as well. I might have accidentally put bearish, but I am definitely bullish on that one. Let me just switch that up real quick. Bullish neutral. There you go. Bullish neutral there. Okay, let's take a look at AMD. And let's take a look at Google. So AMD, guys, 161.78 pivot levels able to hold. You got room for continuation back. 168.02 up to 174.58. Unable to hold 154.79 and 150.56 downside. Maybe leaning bearish, looking for a little bit more profit taking there for this to pull back. Let's take a look at Google here. Let's go to that intraday chart a little bit easier to see what's going on. There we go. 144.16, unable to hold 142.22, 140.76, able to hold 145.64, 148.15 on the upside. Going to be leaning on the bearish neutral side there today, looking for continuation lower. Next two guys, we're looking at SYK and Powell. SYK pivot to the upside at 334.57, level hold 339.83 to that 343.05, unable to hold 330.75, 326, 59 on the downside, going to be leaning bullish, neutral if that pivot point is able to hold. And then last but not least, guys, we got this Powell. Pivot to the upside today is going to be 97.73 level holds, 100 to 103.94, unable to hold 93.24, 90.21 downside, hitting bullish neutral. So that is the individual names. Let's take a look at the SPY and the FANG here. All right, so let's take a look at the SPY here. So 489.23. Pivot to the downside today. That level's unable to hold 440 or 488.33 to 487.32. I usually type this up, so let's do that at the same time. So SPY 489.23 pivot to the downside today, in my opinion. Unable to hold, room lower into the 488.33 support, breaks. We see the 487.32 tested, pivot holds, room higher into the 490.43 resistance breaks. We see the 491.54 tested. Leaning bearish. Neutral. So leaning bearish neutral there on the SPY, guys, for now. Okay, let's take a look at the rest of the thing here. Close that. Okay, so Apple, guys, pivot to the downside today, 187.82. The sell is unable to hold. You got room for continuation lower, 186.53, 185.26. Able to hold 189.32, 190.90 on the downside. Going to be leaning bearish out the gate, looking for continuation lower. For now, on that, let's take a look at Amazon. Amazon pivot to the upside today. 155.92 level holds 157.40, 158.97. Unable to hold 154.46 to 152.67 on the downside. Going to be leaning bullish neutral if that pivot point is able to hold. Against that, let's take a look at Netflix. Pivot to the upside today, or downside, I should say. 560.54, unable to hold 554.92, 549.13. Able to hold 566.66 to 571.19 on the upside. Going to be leaning on the bearish neutral side today if that pivot point is able to hold. Sorry, leaning bullish neutral if the pivot point is able to hold. Let's take a look at the next two guys. Meta. Pivot to the downside today, going to be 388.03 levels, unable to hold 384.79, 381.63, able to hold 392.64. The 396.48 on the upside, going to be leaning bearish as well if that pivot point's unable to hold as well. Let's take a look at the VIX, Qs, and IWM. So VIX, pivot 1361, 1291, 1238, able to hold 1434, 1495. Not leaning any particular direction there, but watching it for direction on the market. QQQs. Let's go out to the daily here. 421.01 pivot, unable to hold 418.89 to 416.77, able to hold 422.88, 425.38. Going to be leaning on the bearish side there today, looking for continuation lower if that pivot point is unable to hold. And then last but not least, guys, SPX. Pivots to the downside, 48.74, unable to hold 48.47 to 48.13. Able to hold 490.06 to 490 or 49.28 on the upside. Going to be leaning bearish neutral there as well if that pivot point's unable to hold. So that's SPY, it's a FANG. Those are the individual names that we're looking at today, guys. Should be an interesting one. If you guys are watching the YouTube stream, take a look at Twitter. I'll give you guys a special promo to pop in for today. Yeah, that's